we have definitely made a statement, and in honor of the Center for Medical Progress that put in 30 months of investigative journalism to bring those videos to forefront here. We thank them. Yes. Very good. And Eric Scheidler with National Pro-Life Alliance, who actually sent me the email, and I sent it to Ward and a couple of our cohorts, and they all supported it, said we just need a leader. And you were it. And I said, all right. Yeah. So, with no further ado, here's Gayle Atteberry with Oregon Right to Life.
I'll stand on this wonderful little table, yes, that we have. I'm very, very grateful. Thanks for all of you for coming. We're here because we have been shown unspeakable, unwatchable, unmentionable activities happening by Planned Parenthood. I don't know if you, the last video I saw a couple days ago was the last straw. I don't know if you saw that, but the live baby with the beating heart was then cut open to get its brain. It was making me say something I normally do not like to say. I do not like to use this analogy, and the analogy is Dachau, Auschwitz. I don't ever use that analogy when talking about abortion, but I cannot stop it this time after seeing that. My husband and I have visited Dachau and then another concentration camp, Mauthausen, and went through there, and you wonder, you just wonder. In fact, Mauthausen is a little, probably haven't heard of it. It's in Austria, and it's right off the Danube River, through a little tiny, cute little Austrian village. And there was absolutely no way in the world for those Jews and those prisoners to get to that concentration camp without being trucked through the right downtown middle of this little tiny village. There was no way for those villagers not to have seen the smoke coming from that concentration camp. There was no way for those people to realize that those trucks always came back empty. There was no prisoners in them. There was no way for that to happen. That they didn't know what's happening. The same with all of Germany. And my question always was, what were the people doing? What were they thinking? Did they do anything? Did they say anything? Did they try anything? Did they not care? And then it makes me think of America, and it makes me grateful for you guys, because you are here and you care and you are doing something. And we have had it here with pro-lifers. We've had it here as Americans. We cannot sit by and let these little babies be massacred, slaughtered, used as experiments. We cannot do it. I also was thinking of another wonderful analogy. This is a little better. And that was the Berlin Wall. Many of you are too young. I was talking to some lady earlier, and most of you are too young. But I lived through that Cold War and the Berlin Wall, and the Berlin Wall was going to be there forever, and that's just the way life was. And one morning we woke up and the Berlin Wall had come down. It was almost too much for a brain to comprehend that what we thought was going to stand there forever was now down. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are about that same way now here with Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is here. It is doing atrocious things. It is getting actually $8 million a year from Oregon tax dollars. The Planned Parenthood in Oregon is getting $8 million a year. And OHSU, they have confessed to using placentas that they buy from Planned Parenthood. So we know that Planned Parenthood in Oregon is just as guilty as every other Planned Parenthood that we've seen, if not more so. We know that where there's placenta, there's baby parts that they're going to be selling too. Well, I love a quote from Abe Lincoln, who said, "You can fool all of the people some of the time, and some of the people all the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time." And praise to God for the Center for Medical Progress and their wonderful investigative work. Planned Parenthood's glossy veneer has been tarnished to, I believe, a point where it cannot recover. 12 states now are investigating Planned Parenthood. One of them is not Oregon. Not that you're surprised. Maybe someday that will be so. 5 states have defunded Planned Parenthood completely. There are 2 committees in the federal, in the Congress, in the House who are investigating Planned Parenthood right at this moment. And I think it's one thing is absolutely wonderful. You guys use this all that you can. The Washington Post, who is no friend of pro-lifers, finally took the phrase that Planned Parenthood is so proud about using, only 3% of our services are abortions. We know that's a lie. Well, the Washington Post has a fact-checker, and they took this, and I'm surprised because this is not a conservative paper. They took this statement, fact-checked it, and said they gets 3 Pinocchios out of 4, and that the public needs to be wary because it is very misleading, and I can't remember all the words they said, but they were all bad words, and that the public need to be wary whenever Planned Parenthood said this claim. So that is huge. That is a huge thing. So I think we need to keep on keeping on. Thank you for being here. For those of you that don't know, the abortions in Oregon had an all-time high of, in the mid-90s, of 14,000. They have been dropping ever since, and now the last year we have accounted for is 8,000. That is a 43% drop in the abortions in the state of Oregon. So your work is working. Don't give up. God says, do not grow weary in well-doing, for in due time you will receive your reward. And I thank God for all of you. I thank Him for the work that He's empowering, and just keep on going. God tells us to rescue those being led away to death, hold back those being hauled off to the slaughter. And you guys are, and thank you very much. Oh, and go to Oregon Right to Life, be a friend, be on our Facebook.